Coming at you guys from the wilderness of Wyoming. We're here on a multi-day backpacking trip, and I'm really stoked to have my buddy Aaron with us. Welcome back, bro.
What's up, you guys? It's good to be back. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, and we're in the exact
It's cold and
spot.
rainy out here.
Yeah, that we backpacked in 2 years ago when we did the mini bobs together, and that was a really fun review that you guys can find popping up right now if you want to. But we're here testing out and carrying a newer design that you and your brother, the founders of HOUGHTON Outdoors, have come up with in this compact fixed blade, the CICOTTE. So tell us a little bit about kind of the idea of what this tool is supposed to do, and then the backstory.
All right, so we came up with this design to be a EDC, but a bushcraft paring knife.
I love that word. That was like such a cool, when you said that, I was like, dude, that's a sick idea.
So the backstory is that my brother Nate found this little old wood-handled serrated knife in my mom's drawer that came from my grandma's house after she passed away, and he sent me a picture of it, and he's like, hey, check this thing out. And he had a picture of it just in his hand, so I could kind of see the size, and he's like, we should do something with this. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is cool. And so basically the name and the backstory, which we'll get into later, but basically we wanted to design an everyday carry, compact fixed blade, but we're bushcrafters and backpackers, and so we wanted to kind of be used in all those little areas and just thrive. So from the kitchen out to the field, you'll see some footage of us gutting some fish on this trip, and so yeah, here we have it.
And the name CICOTTE, that was what was it? You were telling me.
That was so the street that my grandma lived on, where my mom and my aunts and uncle grew up in Detroit.
It's
a street in Detroit.
Little paring knife. And that's where your brother found it.
Yeah. So it came from my grandma's old house on CICOTTE Street in Detroit.
That's
so.
Sick.
Thus the term.
We're gonna break it down, and I'm gonna take it through its paces. We're gonna hear some more concepts of just like what brought you to this particular design, and stick around because we'll run some competitive options a little bit later as we use it not only out here in the Wyoming wilderness, but I'll be using it around town as well as like a pocket carry EDC and see how it performs. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. Now, I really like that term bushcraft paring knife. It really kind of stuck in my mind, and I feel like that's a really good term for what the knife is being presented as and what it's capable of, paring away whatever material you're engaging with, and that's because of the design. At a maximum height of 1/2 inch, so it's a very narrow, kind of piercing design. It's just a hair under 3 inches. It's like 2 7/8 of an inch long blade length. And then we're looking at a 0.1 stock thickness on a full flat grind. Has a little bit of a drop there, no swedging, which means that it has a really nice flat platform there to use your thumb to really manipulate and do fine carving. And what I like, because of that really unique grind, and then again the short, meaning when I just say unique, like they really brought it up quite a bit there, which is excellent. Grind matters. That in tandem with the short blade from spine to edge means that the geometry is actually a little wider than some other full flats that we've been testing lately, because I've found that a lot of like 1/8 of an inch full flat grinds often run off your piece of wood a lot, and they're not super ideal for like woodworking. Well, because of the shorter stock thickness or stock height and the particular grind, this is really executed well for carving, feather stick making, because Aaron and Nate, the designers, do a lot of that. They wanted to make sure this blade could do that, and it absolutely excels in that, paring away your wood material to make the feather sticks bite in, and carve out a notch if you need to manipulate it and do a hook for your pot. If you're carving with wood and doing those type of things, it pairs really well for that. And then obviously in its designing, general EDC, cardboard, rope, cordage, that type of stuff, easily is going to go through that, pierce through material very easily because of the type of tip geometry. If you have to clean a fish, absolutely could do that, no problem. So a great little, paring knife for vegetables and fruit and, meat and that type of stuff. With that said, there are there's an aspect to the design that can be a drawback because of how narrow from edge to spine it is. If you're doing a lot of side splitting and you want to do like deep notches on a wide piece of wood, it's durable enough to handle that, as we're about to talk about steel choice and what they went with. But because of how shallow it is, you may bury in quickly and then can't hit the spine. You know, so you may have to kind of work and manipulate versus a broader blade could bite in deeper and still come in contact with the spine. And same when you're doing certain push cuts through really beefy material, sometimes because the blade is so narrow, you have to change the trajectory and the ergonomics of your hand a little bit, and it just is not always intuitive in some of those deep push cuts in really broad, thick pieces of material that you may have to go through, where a broader blade may excel a little bit better. So that's just something kind of to consider. And so the steel that you guys chose is CPM 154. Why don't you unpack that with us for a little bit?
Yeah, so I had used other blades in CPM 154, and they held a great edge. They were super tough. Does any task I needed to do as far as like batoning or hard use or prying. And so we were like, well, let's use this. And so we went with 59 Rockwell, and it's evenly treated all the way through. So yeah, in testing, we have not been able to break the tips off, and we haven't even digged up a blade. We've been throwing them.
Yeah.
And we are getting good results. And then the price point is still good, because we didn't want to have like, you know, some astronomical price for such a small blade. We want to get it in a lot of people's hands and let them be able to enjoy it for a good value.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a great relevant steel, and
that's
why we're using it.
I've always enjoyed using 154. I think actually the first one I ever had was like an Ontario knife way back like 10 years ago. And I think it was just like bomb proof with that type of steel. And it's got good rust resistance.
Yeah.
You being in Florida, your brother being up in Michigan with all that like humidity and stuff, it's a tough stainless steel that's going to hold its edge, but easy to to resharpen. And I know you guys are working on potentially doing like limited run, like exotic steels and stuff. But as
we'll do some drops with some other
but
stuff.
As like a good, solid, like working man steel, kind of even in the idea of the whole knife in general.
Yeah.
From your grandpa being like a working man's man, just having that and being able to get it.
Yeah, we're happy with where we landed with the price point on this. And I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
I mean, we want to keep a good value, and these things have been super tough and holding up, so.
Right on.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's take a look here at this sheath, which just forms around the knife like a glove. I mean, it's going nowhere. Nice taco design, rounded, really nice with a little drainage hole. Comes with a dropped ULTICLIP. I love that because it buries itself into your pocket. That it just about disappears, so that only the handle is popping up. You got a great thumb ramp right there. Bam, deploys very easily, locks into place securely with a good snap. It's obviously ambidextrous, you can swap it. And as you saw in some of the content, Aaron, also, you can run it like as a neck knife. It's slim enough, it's light enough, if that's your style, that's your thing. You could absolutely carry this knife that way because of how compact and lightweight it is. But the Kydex sheath is very well executed and perfect for multiple carries, but especially pocket carry if you are starting to get into that, like I am on your compact fixed blades. And since we're talking about mounting options, I discovered that ULTICLIP has a new all-purpose or AP clip that they've recently released. I got my hands on one. Easy to mount to a knife like this. And they have not only like a wider template to kind of keep it in one particular angle, but they also have like a canter option. And the difference is it's a wired design, so less likely to snag and scratch stuff like the very abrupt angles of the original ULTICLIP. And it flexes, so it's a little easier to put onto your pocket. Still grabs really nicely. It won't lock like the original, but will definitely grab and stay in place better than, say, just a generic pocket clip on a folding knife. And it's designed to also fold over your belt. And can be adjusted for either a 1.5 or 1.75 wide belt, depending on some of the adapter pieces. So all the hardware is there. It's a really cool adaptation. So that's going to be in the links below if you're interested. And I know if you spend $30 over on the ULTICLIP site, you can get free shipping. So that's just another way to carry compact fixed blades like this. Now, in just a moment, we're going to hop back to the Wyoming wilderness, where we're going to take a look at handle design and ergonomics with my buddy Aaron. Just a weird Aaron and yeah. Anyway, but this is a YouTube video, so you guys know what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to invite you to hit that like button. It helps us go up in the rankings. And if you're not yet a subscriber, to hit the subscription button and the bell icon so you can be notified every week when I put up new content just like this. And as we're considering pairing a compact fixed blade with our kit, I can tell you a piece of gear that I pair with my kit every time I go out on my adventures, exploring. even when we went up in Wyoming into the backcountry on our backpacking trip where we were testing out this blade, and it's my Zoleo satellite communicator. And over the past few years, what I've always appreciated with my Zoleo is its standalone capability. Yes, I can sync my phone to it, and then I can text message my wife and loved ones, let them know I'm okay, check in. If there's something going on at home, maybe I'll cut a multi-day trip short if I need to get back because of an emergency. But the Zoleo device can work on its own and has over 200 hours of battery life. I'm lucky if I get 8 out of my smartphone. So if my phone is damaged, dies, or whatever, I can not only hit the check-in button and send my GPS coordinates to my contacts to let them know I'm okay, but if an emergency arises, I can hit that SOS button and my GPS coordinates will be sent to first responders worldwide, and they will be on the fast track to come help me in an emergency situation. So that is a huge benefit over just relying on my smartphone if an emergency were to arise. And as a quick tip, the directions on how to use the SOS button are printed right on the back of the device. So make sure if you're in a party with a bunch of people, they know how to use your device. Just a little pro tip for you there. So I'll have a link popping up here as well as in the description box below over to the Zoleo site along with my exclusive promo code, which will waive the $40 activation fee. So I invite you guys, start checking them out, see what they're capable of, and start exploring with a new level of peace of mind and confidence when you go out on all of your adventures. Now, along with the ergos comes that level kind of heritage and just kind of style. And why don't you unpack with us a little bit, just the 2 color combos that you decided to go with the micarta and some of the accents and just there's kind of like a heart and a story behind that a little bit.
Yeah, so our grandpa was a factory worker in Detroit, and yeah, I mean, we're from Detroit, and we've been to the factories and stuff, and all the guys are wearing Carhartts, and they're wearing blue denim and gray denim, and they're dirty. And so Nate was like, dude, I'm kind of thinking like a navy blue or like a blue jean denim, and then like a gray because it looks dirty. And I was like, that's kind of cool, and everybody likes blue and everybody likes gray. Let's run with these colors. And then the copper is actually the name HOUGHTON from our grandfather. 4 grades back, he discovered copper in Michigan, which helped spur the industrialization of Detroit. And so the copper is an accent in all of our branding and all of our other blades, and like the custom sheath work and stuff that we do. So we chose the copper hollow tubes because it looks very I don't know, it's kind of, it's not super high tech looking.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be very simple. We wanted it to fit everybody's hand.
Yeah.
And so we went with the gray with black liners and the blue jean denim with an off-white liner.
So sick.
When
I saw the 2 colors, I was like, bro, I want the blue.
Yeah.
That thing's sick.
And so that's how we came up with the colorways. So we're running them in gray and blue.
Nice. So now that we've seen all that goes into making a CICOTTE, what's it going to cost to get you into one? How do you do that? And 1 or 2 competitive options for some food for thought. And to be clear, HOUGHTON Outdoors did not sponsor the content in this video whatsoever. They hooked me up with a sample, and that is literally it. Now, at $160, that's what it's going to cost to get you into one of these with the fit and finish, the basically mid-tech level. I mean, there's a company cutting it out for them, and then they're doing all the grinding, they're doing all the sharpening, they're doing all the handle fitting and whatever. And to get into a blade with a really good working steel and an excellent, no need to upgrade anything, comes with the ULTICLIP, great Kydex sheath, all those things. I think that's a really good value compared to what else we see on the market from mass-produced, companies that often, are charging about $200 for something very similar in its design, materials, that type of thing. So I think they're very competitive with what else is out there. Now, when I'm making this video, I know that there's a batch that is available based off of your guys' trends. When I highlight blades like this, they sell out super quick, so I'm sure it's gonna go fast. And then if you miss out or you're watching this, and they're not in stock currently, get on their Instagram, follow them on social media, follow them on their website, and they do batches basically currently because of the production process. And I know they're working all the time to get that streamlined so they can produce more on a regular basis. About every month they're doing a batch of these models currently is the current trend of their availability. And then we just haven't talked about these guys in a while. Just wanted to run something that was kind of light and slim. The Montana Knife Company series, they have a lot of their Stone Goat, Speed Goat, all those type of ones. You can get it in 50 to 100 or in Magna Cut for around $200, USA made, paracord wrapped handle, so you're not getting all the amazing thickness and cool textures and things like that. But they are very light, very quick in the hand, very slicey. In that regard, broader, bigger Kydex sheath, and you're gonna have to put an ULTICLIP on it. But those are about $200, and they're an alternative that kind of is in the same realm. Well, guys, thanks so much for hanging with us today. And Aaron, thank you for hanging out with us and just giving us the opportunity to get to know you. I like doing these type of videos whenever I have a chance for you guys to really get to know the creators of the gear and equipment that we use. So appreciate you just sharing your insight on like what brought you and your brother to this design. So thanks so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, and picking me up and getting us out here. And basically we just designed this blade in hopes that anybody that would also get their hands on it, that it would be a great kitchen, at home, opening your packages, a companion camp knife out in the field for whatever you're doing, whether it's like bushcraft or just
opening your espresso,
open our espresso. Like we've been doing everything with them, right. And so yeah, that's our heart and soul behind this tool, and it's been really fun, like finally getting these things done, and just they're here, and we can use them and play with them, and just putting them through all the paces.
Sweet, man.
So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, until next time, check out the other videos, subscribe if you haven't yet, and always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared.
And we'll see you out there.
All right, later.